Good evening, everyone. Let me know when you arrive. Say hello. Let us know what kingdom you are joining from. Tonight, we are attacking Citadels, Elven and Cursed. I was getting quite a few questions from the video I put out a month or so ago on Citadels. What number of troops to send, what type of troops to send, how many. So I spent a bunch of resources training all different kinds of troops, and tonight we're going to do what I do. We're going to use my troops and sacrifice them and figure it all out so that you don't have to waste your resources. Hugo, hello. Thanks for joining. Hello, Lisa in K220. So first, the difference, and I'll try to keep pulling up this little cheat sheet here. You can take a screenshot or picture with your phone, whatever you want to do so that you have it. But this is what essentially we're going to go off of. We'll start with level 10 Elven, and we'll use the troop types and see what losses there are. I think in my video that I did, I only sent Griffins each time because I had them, but we're going to mess around with the different types of sending ranged troops and sending melee units where recommended, and I'm going to try to match it up. Anytime a tier 2 catapult is called for, I'm going to send the level 2 guardsmen and specialists. Same things with tier 3, 4, and 5. I do not have level 5 catapults or level 6 catapults, so we may have to skip 25 and 30. I don't think I have enough catapults, but maybe we'll train some and figure it out and see what happens. So for anyone new wants to know the difference between the Elven and the Cursed Citadels, I turned my watchtower on here. So let's start with the Elven Citadels. So if you do have your watchtower on, make sure you have the Cursed and Elven selected, or just Elven, depending on what you're targeting. The Cursed Citadels don't start until level 20. So if you have your settings lower, you're not going to find the Cursed Citadels. So those will pop up at level 20 and above. So we're going to turn on the Elven and the Curse. The Elven Citadels start at level 10. But real quick, the differences. The Elven Citadels will give you these blue master keys here, which are used to open up the rare crypts. You have to unlock the rare crypt before you can attack it, or before you can explore it rather, and it will match the level of citadel that you destroy. Now you can still get points if you don't kill the citadel, but let's recommend here going and killing the citadels, and we'll figure out the most efficient way to do that here. So the rares will correspond, so 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on with the rare key. The Cursed Citadels will give you these nice little coins that you use in your academy. No, wrong one. I always hate on my computer finding this stuff. In the forge, your equipment crafting. You do not need them for your standard equipment, but when you want to get into your unique equipment for specific troop type bonuses, especially if you're going to load up Carter, instead of spending silver to craft, you have to use these master coins that you get from the Cursed Citadels. The advantage of using the unique equipment is the bonuses that you get with each level. So you see here, for example, for the crypt, the omniscience you start at 12 for the lowest level of material created, or poor as it's called here, all the way up to godlike goes up to 107%, versus when you're spending silver in your materials, the low end is 3% up to 50%. So if you want to get this better equipment, you're going to need to destroy the cursed citadels to get these master coins. Hello, Dougie. You couldn't penetrate the 15. Only the walls killed your soldiers. All right, Hugo, we'll stick around. We'll do the 15s second. So let's start. We'll go in order. We'll start with the Elven Citadels level 10. So I will pull back up our little cheat sheet here. Elven level 10. 100 tier 2 catapults, and then only send ranged troops and griffins if you have them. So we'll do it 2 times and check the differences. I'll do the level 2s catapults with level 2 guardsmen, ranged units only. And then the second time through, I'll do the level 2s with griffins. And then maybe we'll even do it a third time, and I'll just send my strongest troops just so we can see the differences in each attack. So here we go. Elven Citadels. We'll get our clan chest, XP. And let me make sure I turn my bonuses on here, because I don't think I remember to turn any of them on. Nope. So let's get the XP. I think I figured in order to hit the minimum XP between now and the end of Legacy, I need to get like 3.5 billion points per day, which is going to be a stretch. But we'll see if we can make it. I'll turn on Army Strength. I don't know if Army Health is needed, but since we have them, it can't hurt to turn them on. Let's get our March bonus going here. All right. Now that those are on, we'll attack. Let's change out our captains. Trying to get Mr. Alexander here to 90 so I can unlock the next level in the Hall of Fame. So we'll keep his dumbass. And we want to send Bron, who I haven't really spent much time leveling up because I don't use him ever. And then, since this first one said to use our ranged troops, who is the one that will give us the ranged bonus? I'll need that when I have my... Alright, that's specialist. What are you doing for us? Ranged units. Alright, we're going to send Bernard to get our ranged units bonus here. We'll keep this guy just to get him some points. Looks like Bran's going to level up on this attack as well. And I'll try to remember to send Wu when I send the second attack with the griffins. Alright, can't use your dragon. We can send our hero and all 3 captains. Ignore the monsters. So now I want to get 100 of these level 2 catapults. And then we're going to send these archers that I trained. Now it doesn't specify how many of each in the little cheat sheet. So since I'm trying to do this as even as possible, we're using level 2 catapults, so I'm going to use level 2 and below troops under the assumption that that's all that I have at this point. So I'm going to send my 7,500 level 2 archers and my 7,500 level 1 archers and see what happens. Again, in case anyone's just joining in and not sure why I'm doing that, our cheat sheet here says level 10, 100 tier 2 catapults should knock down the wall in 1 attack. then only send ranged units, and then the griffins if you have them. So this first attack, again, we're going to assume that we only have the same troops level as our cat level. So we're doing our level 2 and our level 1, and we'll start the march and see what happens. And then we'll go back and we'll do it with the griffins and my level 5 troops and see what the outcome is and compare. If you're just joining in, welcome. Don't be shy. Say hello. Let us know what kingdom you are joining from. If you have your own strategies that you use for citadels, let us know. You won't offend me. If you have never seen my live streams before, I have no issues screwing things up and slaughtering my troops. So feel free to criticize, change what I'm doing. We will try it out here. I'll use my troops to help everybody else out so you don't make the same mistakes. All right, so we should have taken the walls down in one hit, and we did. So our ranged unit wiped out the first layer of troops. We lost 109. Our level 1 guardsmen, the 7,500, these archers were able to take out all 19. We lost another 84. The catapults decided to chime in. We lost a couple of each layer of troops. So all in all, what did we lose here troop-wise? 358 level 2 archers. So, attacking a second time, level 10. Let's get back to the watchtower. In comparison now, we'll send our 100 level 2 catapults to take the wall down. Then we'll send our griffins, and we will send, do I have any archers? Our level 5 archers. And then I'll just jump down to these level 2s. I mean, obviously I would be taking my 4s and so on, but I'm wondering if the griffins, between these first two attacks, what'll happen. So let's see, and we'll compare. And then we can try out level 15s. Lisa, what level guardsmen do you have? Because we can try it out and figure out what you need to do to take down a 15. We lost 53 level 5 archers. That was it. So again, wall down. Attacked and lost the 19. Lost. So our level 5 archers were the only ones that took any hits. My assumption is because they had the highest hit points still, so they were getting the blows each time while everyone else took out the monsters. So we lost 53 total there. Let's go now to level 15. You just got your G5s about a month ago. Oh, you don't have enough catapults for level 20s. All right. Let's jump up to level 15. For the 15s, we need 400 tier 3 catapults, then our mounted troops and griffins. 400. All right. Now, also, we're sending this time mounted troops. Right? Yeah, mounted troops for level 15. 400 level 3s. Good. That's exactly how many I have trained. And then we want our mounted units. So let's start with the level 3 mounted units, and I probably didn't train any of them. Let's go train some real quick. Sure, silver. All right, help, speed up. All right, very good. All right, do we still have 400 level 3s? We'll take our level 3 mounted units. Do I have any level 2 mounted units? I don't. Or level 1s. Yeah, let's see what, should we see what happens with just our level 3s and our level 3 riders here? I would like to get the lower stacks under the assumption that 3 is my highest for this run. Let's train some more. Let's just do this quickly. And level 1s, we need more. Yeah, I have to remember to change my captains. So we get our captain bonus here. Oh, what the hell? Just train. Get there. Train. What is it doing? It's not letting me train the level 1 troops. Oh, it's penalizing me because I'm so far negative. It wants me to spend 5 million now. It was just at 1 million. Oh no, wrong troop set. There we go. Train. No, it doesn't want me to train. Let's just add more, throw more money at it until it lets me do something. Train. There we go. 8 hours. Okay. Let's check one more time. 400. We got all these. Our level 2s, level 1s. I almost forgot to change my captain. So we got Braun to take down the walls here. We don't need our ranged captain anymore. We want our mounted captain. Alexander gives us a mounted bonus. So in that case, I'll just send Cleo here to give me my army bonus, and we're off. Finally. And a 30-second slow walk across the screen. See what the outcome is, and then we'll send our Griffins and our higher level troops, which I probably don't have any level 4 riders, but whatever. Oh yeah, Ida would have been a good call too. Get in there. And we're out. Okay. So level 15 Elven. We lost 457, and we lost some catapults, so they must have gotten attacked because we didn't get the kills immediately. So there's took out the first 2 layers. First 3 layers, no problem. Then our catapults got hit. And our riders. Now we're going to be 20-some catapults short of knocking the wall down on this next run. Whatever. We'll just send some level 1 catapults along with it. we'll switch you out Friday this time. Now we've got what's supposed to be 400. We'll send some extra catapults since we're a little short there. We'll send our griffins. I wanted mounted units, so we'll send our riders. We have 1,400 and some of there. I don't have any level 4s. Oh, there was my level 4. Do I have? There we go. I have the specialist. I was going to say, I probably have the specialist trained. We'll send all of our mounted units. And go. A full minute we have to wait now. Let's find our level 20 while we wait, and then we'll turn on Cursed 2, because we can start getting into those after this attack. We got 40 seconds. Level 20, we'll need our tier 4 catapults. There's where we're going to have to stop messing around with lower levels of troops and send our stronger troops off the hop. Come on, 14 seconds. Watch the vicious attack on the Citadel. All right, the second run, 185, and we lost 30 more catapults. Well, 374 was still enough to take the wall down. So we got attacked first. So we're getting a hit each time, too. So we wiped them out each hit, so there wasn't a double. We took out each layer every time we were able to strike. Just unfortunately didn't get the first hit there. Could have saved us 66 troops. On to level 20. We'll start with the Elven. No. So we need now 800 tier 4 catapults. What else does I have to go with it? Melee troops. Oh, we'll send the crazy men in. All right, 800. This is my highest level catapults. We need 800 of them. And then melee units. Which ones are the melee units? Not these guys. Here, this crazy guy is a melee unit. I think the dead shots, these are ranged, right? Yep. We need more crazy melee units. Here's our spearmen and swordsmen. We'll send all these layers of craziness. And send them in. This is going to be a longer march. So we got to get through after the walls. There's 5 layers of troops to attack. A minute and a half walk. I forgot to switch my mounted captain to the melee captain for the extra little feature bonus. We'll do that on the second strike because I didn't send the griffins this time. We'll see how much of a difference. We'll do 2 each time just to see what kind of difference it makes when you send the griffins in. And I'll leave this up on the screen while it runs across in case anyone wants to take a screenshot or copy it. Use your phone and take a picture. The one note, if you don't have Let's say you want to go after a level 15 and you don't have tier 3 catapults yet. You use a doubling rule. So instead of 400 tier 3 catapults, if you have the tier 2, you would need 800 of the tier 2 or level 2 catapults in order to take down the 15. And then if you only had level 1 catapults and you wanted to take it down, you would double that again. So you're at 1600 level 1 catapults would be needed for a level 15 Elven. So that's the note at the top to double it each time if you're using a lower catapult level. Our first attack at the level 20, we lost 3,000 of our crazy spearmen level 5. They're probably taking all the hit points just because they're the highest level. Yeah, so they're going to keep getting beat up. So we take the wall down first. And our remaining spearmen, 74, 75, were enough to take down on the strike. Lost 900. Then our catapults ended up being the highest hit points. They get the suffer a little bit of a death there. These grizzlies took out more of our spearmen. And then we finished them off back to back. So even at a level 20, if you're at level 3 guardsmen, you can take out these level 5 monsters that are in the Citadel. Level 4 had no problem wiping out these level 2s. Oh, the spearmen were so close to getting all 110 there, so that's a level 6. So your level 4 spearmen probably, if we had 9, you have to do the math. Another every 89 spearmen roughly takes out 1. All right, a second run at this. We're down. We're down catapults. Instead of 800, we're down to 654. Let's train some of those really quick. What do I need? 146. Let's get 146 catapults just so it's matched up. It's in 2 days, 3 hours training. All right, so we'll get back up there to 800. Now we'll send our griffins along. I used to have a whole bunch more until I've been trying to get up these points in Legacy. I was up to 1,200 or so, which would work out great here. And what are we sending? The crazies. We lost quite a few crazies, so that's going to open up these swordsmen to eat quite a few hits here at the beginning. Though our griffins might take most of the attacks. All right, hopefully I didn't miss anyone. All the melee units. I said I was going to switch out Alexander. Who's my melee captain? Where are you? It wasn't this guy. He was arranged. We could send in Wu because she'll help our griffins. Alright, let's just do that. There's our melee man. Let's just go that way. Start our march. This one's actually closer. And then from here, we'll jump over to a cursed citadel. And have our first run at the cursed citadels. Alright, more dead troops. Lost 1,000 of those spearmen. We hit more. We didn't lose many griffins. We hit more. On our catapults, that's the same amount we lost. Our griffins ate the first hit and the second hit. As the catapults got blasted. A shorter battle. Left loss. The griffins are key if you have griffins. Make sure you send them at all times, even on the lower level. Alright, off to a cursed citadel. Our first run at the cursed citadels. Now I'm probably going to have to train more, and there is a stronger wall. You get one higher level. What's that? A level 7 monster. It's probably going to strike first, hit point wise. Level 5s. So these shouldn't be too bad. We're just going to likely eat the first attack. So for a level 20 cursed, we're skipping down here. I like the question mark. 2,200, 1,800 tier 4 catapults. So we need to go catapult training. Let's shoot for 2,200. What were we at? 654. So we need quite a few. 7 million silver. Sure, why not? Let me spend all the silver, and you watch and determine if it's worth it for you to do this. I typically vote no, but let me suffer through it so that you can decide whether you want to do this or not. Because right now, I'm just wasting silver. We need... Alright, we'll make one more. And of course, I clicked one too many times. Of course. How much more do I need? Train. No, but still. It shows that it processed, but it's not showing there. It shows that I have 7 points. Come on, game, catch up. It shows that we have 7.3, and up there it shows we have 30, and down here it doesn't register that we've trained anyone. Let's do a refresh of the game. If you pop in, say hello, let us know what kingdom you are from. If you have any strategy that you use for citadels that's different, or something you like to do, or out of the ordinary, or something you want me to try, just let me know, and we will go and do it. As long as I have the troops for it. Right now I can't get catapults. Oh, they upped my cost to 7.6 now. The deeper you get in the hole with your production speed, army upkeep, the more you get charged for training. If I wasn't streaming, I would typically go and kill off my troops before doing this, just to keep the cost down. Alright, that's close enough to 2200. Now, it recommends for the cursed level 20 to only use melee units. So we're going to send in, let's get rid of this guy, and we'll get our melee commander back. Mounted units, 2 in a row. Who do I want? There we go. We'll send in Leonidas to help out our melee units. We'll send in everything we have. We don't want riders. Again, this shouldn't be too bad, other than the fact that I only have the 200 and some remaining griffins, and their health points are not going to be enough to get initiative, I don't think, over these 10 level 7 monsters without clicking and looking. There we go. That's as many as we can take. Alright, what is this guy's at here? Yeah. 960 times the 10, so they get 9.6 million. We're only at 30,000. Yeah, so they're going to take some damage. But we will send them anyway. And just based off of the troops that I have, that is the farthest we're going to be able to go is the level 20s. Because I don't have tier 5 catapults. So I would need roughly, 15,600 level 5 catapults. And I'd probably want level 6 or higher troops. And then same thing for these Elvens. I'd need 6,400. I'm not going to spend the resources on that. But these formulas seem to work pretty accurately with, I would call it, minimal losses, as long as you're sending your strongest troop types in. So we only lost 121 of our swordsmen and only 32 griffins. So not bad at all. And we did strike first. How about that? Where is... Looking for our initiative there. Hugo wants me sending mercs. All right, Hugo. We'll do the level 20 and send mercs and see what happens. So we took... Yeah, you're always going to get struck with the way that the Citadel battles and all the way the game works. You're going to exchange back and forth. The only way I think that we would save troops is just to have higher level. The Griffins have our highest health points there until we dropped. It's only 10 back and forth, so we did wipe them out, strike for strike. So a total of 153 troops. Reconnected. Total battle is on the fritz this evening. Another run at the Cursed Citadel. Go. Hugo's enjoying himself. All right, I like it. Let me get some more griffins. They're going to be more expensive than normal, but let's add another 100. Go. All right. So we're up to 363. Hugo wants the mercenaries. We'll send King Kong here, along with our regular epic monster hunter. Send all our catapults. Now we got our griffins. And then it recommends the crazy melee unit. So let's send the crazies. Let's try it next time too. I'm just going to send my strongest layers in order and see what kind of difference that makes. Instead of going down and only sending the melee units, we'll just start at the top. I'll skip the catapults. I won't send the catapults. I'll skip them and just send the strongest troops. All right, I missed one. Nobody else caught that. Thanks for keeping me honest. We want to send... There you go. I don't know if they're even going to get a chance to hit. All right, 42nd March. Let's collect. For those not following, I sent Dougie a message in the game on this yesterday because he was the one that sent me the notice. But I had the pleasure of being attacked by the wrinkled ballsack yesterday, trying to get some COT points. So he completely slaughtered me, and he even invited, doesn't matter, send reinforcements. So I reinforced, and I think total between myself, I probably have the log. Watch this before we check that out. Where's my journal log at here? I think we killed like 200 of his troops. It's not letting me open it. There we go. All right, you see us slaughter. Dead as a doornail, right? He was kind enough. He got his 1.2 billion XP, which I could have used that for my rankings. Look at this. We did no damage to anyone. We took out 17 of his level 5 monsters. There's 42. I guess I missed this number. We did get 4,700. But look at these mercs. We didn't even touch any of these. So a complete slaughter. I didn't get near the points that I was hoping out of it for COT. But I did get to revive with silver. So that was the plus. But I did invite him to come kill me for the points. All right. So that number, 121 and 46, is that the same? 121.32. So we actually lost more griffins this time. So what was the difference? We struck first. I bet you they struck first the second go around. That's probably the difference. Yeah. All right. So that's the extra, as we got hit first. No control over that there. All right. So the mercenaries, sorry, I went fast there, Hugo. Did they even get to do anything? No. The mercenaries didn't even pop in the exchange. So let's try it. With the mercenaries. And we'll get our catapults. Let's get, all right, so we seem to be taking them out in 5. So we got, that's first. So there's 1, 2, 3. Let's go 4, 5. Let's take one more layer there as a buffer. So we should, and then we'll go back and just do the strongest. So these guys should get a hit. Hopefully they don't eat the first strike. All right, Hugo, let's see what happens. Let's give a helping hand. What else do I have to do? VIP is on. Dragon coins. Dragon path coins. Come on, walk. All right. 121 again. 32 again. So we're kind of set in that way. So the one level of troops. So, yeah, because they hit. We got first. So as long as if we strike first, our minimal loss is the 32 griffins and the 121 swordsmen. If we get hit first, then that we end up losing 46 griffins. One last go of this level 20 cursed citadel here. We are just gonna take the strongest troops that we have and see what difference it makes. Why didn't it let me take? There we go. All right, so we just went down the line, took our strongest troops. Again, these aren't gigantic squads. No matter who hits, we're able to take them out in one strike. But let's see if we end up losing fewer troops. It seems our minimal is 100 and what was it? 153. 121 of our swordsmen and 32 of our griffins seems to be the minimal loss. And then if we end up getting hit, we have that number. We get 14 more griffins lost. All right, let's see what happened that time. We lost a lot more. So we see the difference there now. If we go back to our notes, it says cursed up to 2,200 tier 4 catapults, which we did. We're at 2146. And use only melee troops. So when we used only melee troops and griffins, when we used only our melee troops, our losses were 121 swordsmen, 32 griffins, and disconnecting. So the riders, it's kind of, we don't need that many riders to kill those 10, but here's where it comes back to bite us in the ass. So like they have the bonus against the melee unit. Why are they doing so much damage to the mounted unit? Oh, it's probably strength. There we go. I was looking up. It's a melee unit. This is where I wanted to look at. Strength against mounted units, a plus 70% bonus against the mounted attack. That's why the severe loss there. And then if we go down here, there's the plus 50 against ranged units. These guys, strength against giants and mounted units. This other layer, strength against ranged units. Hence the damage they did to our dead shots. And then these last guys, strength against mounted units. So none of these monsters have bonuses against the melee units, which is why it says send your melee units. So that is what happens if you don't follow. Oh, I closed it. Great. I closed it. Let me open it back up real quick. Where is it at? I gotta bounce around here real quick. There's what happens if you don't pay the attentions. That's why we're here. So I can suffer so you don't have to. Cursed level 20. Look at it one more time. 2,100 troops of your tier 4 catapults. Send only melee troops. Why? Because none of these monsters, there's this plus 100 strength. That's the walls, but it doesn't matter because you have enough catapults to take that out the first hit. After that, none of these monster squads have a bonus against melee units. So by sending the melee units, you avoid the extra bonus attack against you. And you see what it did. When we brought our riders and our ranged units with us, they ate quite a few more deaths. There's that plus 70% bonus. Then when we brought, right, you have your guardsmen, your riders, 3,150 health points. They are much stronger than your spearmen. But none of these monsters have the extra attack against the spearmen, and they don't do any damage. At least not comparable damage, right? We lost 120 troops and 32. The worst case, we were struck first. We lost an extra 14 units. So follow along the recommendations. And let me know when you try them if none of them work. You see, at least tonight through level 20 of the Elven, if you follow the math here with the catapults, you can take the walls down in one strike, and you get minimal losses if you use the recommended troop types with your griffins if you have them. If you don't have the griffins, you'll still get the win. You just might have a little more loss. Again, it depends if you get struck first or not. And then with the cursed level 20. We didn't do the cursed level 25, and we didn't do the Elven level 25s and 30s just simply because I don't have 6,400 level 4 catapults to go take this wall down and see what kind of damage it would do to us. Maybe next time, if I build up that many catapults, we can do it, but I probably will wait till I have level 5 unlocked. And it didn't seem to make a difference at all when we brought mercenaries with us, so don't worry about bringing mercenaries. Just stick strictly to the troop types. Again, if we go back, let's go back and look at our first level 10 attack where we took ranged units only. That was the Elven Citadel. We lost 358 level 2 archers. That was taking only level 2 and level 1 guardsmen. But when you look over mounted units, melee unit bonus, mounted elemental monsters, melee, and dragons. So no bonuses against ranged units. And as a result, we suffered 109, 84, 63, 43, 43, 16, and we go out and kill them. Now, just to show you, let's go back and let's just take our level 2 and level 1s, but we won't take the archers, just to show the comparison. Let's find a level 10 Elven. 10. Oh, there it came right up. I didn't even have to turn it off. All right. So if we ignore the fact that we're supposed to only take ranged units, we'll take our catapults, which was 100 level 2s. And then let's go and we'll send our level 2 riders because we're inexperienced and we do what we want. And we'll send our level 2 melee units and our swordsmen, and we're going to ignore anything that has to do with a bow and arrow. So this time we're sending more troop layers than we did in that first attack, because remember, when we took on the level 10 Elven, all we did was send the 100 catapults. We sent all the archers we had of level 2 and level 1. We only lost 358 troops. So now we're ignoring all that. We're sending more layers, but we're sending all the wrong troops. And we're going to compare. Are we going to lose more than 350 troops or not? My guess is we're going to lose quite a few more than the 350. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Yeah, take care of those grandbabies. YouTube will repost this. It's usually within an hour or so it's back up. So in this case, it looks like it was pretty close. 260. We actually lost less this time. 265 and 23. So where we're at, 288 troops we lost. So that took out 126, 82, 57, 23, and then dead. The other one, I wish I could have these both up side by side. We had the 358 archers, 109, 84. I think they just got hit more. I feel like that number matches 109, 84, 63. I think the number's going down by the same. They just got a double strike in on that attack, which didn't happen in ours in the second run. Of course that would happen when we're trying to do a comparison. That was when we sent our highest level troops, showing that we would minimal losses if we sent in the stronger layer with our smaller guardsmen 2 and 1. So the difference here, there's 126 and 82. Those numbers are close. But the difference is they didn't get a double strike on this And the odds of that happening again, I was going to say we could try it again and see if it happens. The odds of their double is closer to accurate comparison. Odds are low that they'll get a double strike again. So let's send our level 2 archers and level 1 archers to recreate that first attack. And hopefully it doesn't repeat and they get the chance to strike twice bonus like they did in our first run. This way we can look and compare the loss difference. Let's see if we can find any funny names here while we wait. Ray of Light. Abbess Chowman. Is there any funny folks in this town? Wrathfont. Blackfire. Milo. If you happen to be watching and one of these is you, just shout it out and let us know. But so far, Nuts and Butts and Wrinkled Ballsack, both of which were accidentally found. One because I accidentally clicked on his city, and the other just because he happened to attack Dougie Hamilton, and Dougie shared the funny name with me. Sorry, Dougie. I always want to call you Dougie Hamilton. Dougie Tomlinson. There's a hockey player, a defenseman. His name's Dougie Hamilton. Every time I see Dougie, I want to call you Dougie Hamilton. So we lost 391. Is there a double strike in here? No. One. There it is. They got a double strike again. So what is it about sending? Oh, it's because of the troop layers. 1, 2. We didn't send enough to cover. That's why they're getting hit a second time. All right. Hold on. We're going to have to send more. Just actually, no. Let's do it. I'm getting all confused here. We're only going to send 2 layers of the wrong type of troops. That's what I did wrong in this comparison. I sent too many, so we didn't get the double attack like we're getting when we only sent our level 2 and level 1. So let's send only the wrong troops and only 2 stacks of them so that it matches, and see the difference of what happens. So instead of our level 2 archer and level 1 archer, let's send health point wise, you're 270 and this one's 270, so they're equal. We'll send our spearmen. Now we'll get moving. This one is going to take 2 minutes to walk. All right, just in case I confused everybody, here's what we're doing while we wait for this walkthrough. The very first attack we did of the night, we assumed that if we had level 2 catapults, that we only had level 2 and level 1 troops. And the recommendation is to send, of course I closed it again on accident. The recommendation is to send your ranged units. So we did. We sent the level 2 and level 1 ranged units. We lost 358 of our archers. Then when I did the comparison of, hey, what would happen if we sent the wrong troop types. I sent all these layers of troops. And what happened was it avoided us getting struck twice in a row. With the 2 layers of troops, we killed off a couple of their layers on our first 2 hits, but then they were able to go on a run, so to speak, and double hit us. That didn't happen here because we had more layers. So you see we exchanged each time and lost only 288 troops versus when we took the recommended levels of troop type, we had lost 358, and the difference was we ran out of troop layers, our catapults jumped in and got a hit, but then we ate 2 strikes in a row. So now, to get an accurate comparison to that first attack, this one right here, I'll bring it up again, where we only had 2 troop layers of ranged units, which are recommended. We lost 358. So this time, finally, we took 2 layers again, but we took the wrong types of troops. We took our spearmen, so we lost 382 to 358. So not many more, but again, going into minimizing your losses, you want to take the recommended troop types. And when we did our second attack, we added our strongest archer layer in and our griffins, and it resulted in only 53 troop losses. So use your strongest troops, use the correct troops. For the level 10 Elvens, it recommends the ranged units. Go back earlier in the live and you can see the recommendation screen that I had up showing the troop types for each. But here you will see we took the wall down, we struck first, we exchange, the catapults get involved, and then we eat back-to-back attacks before we wipe out their monsters. So here we get 1 kill versus getting 3 layers of kills, which is the same in the other attack, before we take them out. So when you're sending your troops into the Citadel, make sure you have, in this case, we'd send the catapults here, get the 1 kill, 5 layers, if you will, of troops, the correct troops, ranged units against this level 10. So to wrap it up, put a bow on it, as they say. When attacking, now of course it's going to make me resize it here. When attacking the Citadels, you can take another picture if you want. Elven level 10s, 100 of your tier 2 catapults. It will take the wall down in 1 strike. Then take your ranged units, the strongest ranged units that you have, which are your archers. If you are up to level 5 guardsmen, then definitely add in your griffins to go along with your archers. Level 15, instead of ranged units, you want to send your mounted units with 400 tier 3 catapults. Level 20s, 800 of your tier 4 catapults, along with your melee units. And remember, if you have the higher guardsman levels, if you're at a level 5 guardsman, and you have your griffins, but for whatever reason you don't have your level 4 catapults yet to go after a level 20, then use the doubling rule. There's a note at the top, ×2 for each level. So you would take, if you only had tier 3 catapults, you would take 1,600 tier 3s. If you only had tier 2s, then you would need to double that and take 3,200 tier 2 catapults to take down this level 20, to take the wall down in 1 strike. Now, if you're, again, looking at this right now and wondering why it's ranged units, why you're taking mounted units, melees. Same thing when you're down here for the cursed, where it's recommending only melee troops. Why those types of troops? Well, it is because of the bonuses that these monsters you're going up against have. So in the level 10, there's a mounted unit bonus, attack against melee unit bonus, melee units, mounted units and elementals, melee units and dragons. So what does that leave? Ranged units. There are no bonuses for attacks against ranged units. No strength bonus for the monsters. So take your ranged units to avoid and to minimize the deaths of your troops. That is it for tonight. Hope you learned something. I will probably make this into another Citadel video that's not a live. I'll just go through some of the info, some of the journal results, some of the attacks, and just do a voiceover. Just make it shorter for everyone to watch. And then this way, there's not all the confusion of us trying to figure out the different mixes and doing comparisons and all that. So I'll try to simplify it. With my kids starting school in 2 days, maybe not this week, hopefully. It depends on how crazy the schedule gets here at the end of the week. But that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining me, everyone that contributed. And thanks to everyone that joined, that just watched along and didn't contribute. Hopefully next time, just chime in. Don't be shy. Nobody bites over here. But that's it. Thank you to everyone. Have a good night. Have a good day, depending where you're at. And I'll see you next time.